we are here tonight live with JT Visuals. If you guys don't know who JT Visuals is yet, you guys are going to find out very, very soon because he is what we would call a rising star. Now, what's really exciting about this is I've never seen anything like this done before. I just literally never seen anything like it. I mean, there's been people who've done incredible work and popped off, give them a year and they just, from 1 year, they went to the moon and it's just unbelievable what they've done. But this is what he's done in a week. And what I want you to just, the message I want to give to you guys to start off the night is that why not you? Right? Why couldn't you have this similar growth? Because you certainly can. And JT, here's the story, guys. I'm going to give you the story of JT. So JT, when I first saw him going live in the real estate videography group, I was blown away by what he was doing. And immediately we began to connect. We would FaceTime, we would chat, we would text back and forth. And I was like, this guy is going to be a superstar. And I was surprised that, his growth hadn't happened just yet because he was sitting, guys, like a little over a week ago, he had 504 followers. That was it. He had 504 followers. I've never seen anything like it. And then waking up today, he has 13,000. When we made the video, guess what happened? When we made the video, he had 12,000. Now you go to his account right now, it's 13,000. So he grew 1,000 since we shot the video, which was just like a day ago. So it's just unbelievable. And this was what's really cool is we all can tap into this kind of growth. We're going to show you guys how to hack the algorithm with some really new stuff that JT's been doing. So I'm really excited for you guys to be here. I'm really excited for you guys to grow here because I want you guys to just imagine, don't just imagine like you're going to learn editing and shooting tonight. We're going to go super deep into that. I mean, he's bringing the flow of the future. But just imagine what it could do for your business. Like, what would it do for your business if overnight you had 10,000 followers? Give yourself a week, you had 10,000 followers. What I've always said is that with 10,000 of the right followers, you can build $1 million business, right? You don't need to have 100,000 or 1,000,000 followers to build the right business. You just need 10,000 of the right ones. And we built Studio 910 to 10,000 followers, built it to 7 figures. We've seen it time and time again that it's a possibility that anyone out here can tap into. So you guys are about to tap into a whole new level tonight. We have JT. It's the first live of the year. So just lock in, pay attention. We're going to do a crazy giveaway. You guys know we like to be generous. We like to give away a lot of great things, but this is going to be for you guys tonight. If you guys want to go to the next level, if you guys want to not just increase your following, increase your reputation online, but also increase your business, because this actually turns into dollars, right? Attention is the greatest currency. And if you want to learn not the ways of 2024, the ways of 2025, if you want to learn those ways, that's why you're here tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and let Jason introduce himself. And just, Jason, can you walk us through, just tell us your story? Because keep in mind, guys, 504 followers. I saw this video, and he made this video finally getting on camera. And I'm like, he's going to go to the moon. I commented on it. You guys can see it. And then, the rest was history. So he's going to give you guys everything tonight. There will be zero gatekeeping. What he's going to give away, I've never seen anything like it. You could call him Hermosi, but Jason, please feel free to, share your story. What's happening here?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad that you brought that up, and I appreciate the intro. I am going to go into my story. I've got a presentation here. I'm going to start off real quick if you want to give me access to share my screen. Okay. So, welcome to The Rise, my presentation on the rise and the fall of the Roman Empire. I'm just kidding. It's not a high school presentation, but I do have a slideshow for you. What you can expect from this call, I'll really quickly summarize what you can expect. I will go over my story and my results, everything, as Claudio mentioned, everything that has happened over the last week or so. I will then break down the anatomy of a viral video, what it takes to go viral, what I've learned in the process, and I'll share some of the mistakes, some of the things that you can avoid when doing it yourself. But then I'm going to touch on the most important part of any of this, which is the shooting process. And I need you guys to understand. I need you to lock in and pay attention. I will do my very, very best to explain efficiently and concisely so that you guys can understand exactly how this works. But none of this is possible without shooting it the right way first. Then we'll go into the editing at the very end. So I have this quote here. I grew up with this quote. It's not what you know, but who you know. It needs to be, it's not what you know, but who knows you. And as Claudio mentioned, could you imagine what would happen if 10,000 people knew who you were tomorrow versus where you are right now, right? It's about becoming the best known in your area, in your market, in your industry. And that's how you are able to provide exceptional results. So my promise to you in this presentation and throughout this whole session tonight is I'm not going to hold anything back. I am a complete open book for you this entire process. I'm going to unveil my entire timeline. I'm not hiding any clips. I'm not hiding any effects. I'm not hiding any sound. We are we are showing everything, revealing everything. And at the end, if you stay to the end, I have some guides that I'm working on right now. I'll send them to you at the end after the call, and I'm going to show you everything you need to shoot world-class videos, everything you need to edit world-class videos, and I'm working on a very special tool that I'm super excited to share. It's in beta mode right now, but I'm building a script assistant that will help videographers and real estate agents create viral scripts, craft their hooks, craft their stories, and build viral content much more efficiently, much quicker. And I'll show you a little sneak peek of what that's going to look like.
Yeah. And before he goes on, guys, just so you guys are aware, I mean, he's going to show you guys some numbers, but JT's going viral, right? He's got like 4 million views like overnight. It's crazy. And then I called Jason and said, you got to hop on the academy. What do you think? He's like, I'm all in. I want to give people everything we've got. And then just to think that he did it enough, he puts out a reel for his client that gets like millions of views overnight. She gets like 12,000 followers overnight. Can you share about that? Or maybe just show us what you have right here? Because this is just unbelievable. Never seen anything like it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, these are the statistics here. This middle statistic, this is 5.2 million plays you see. But the crazy thing that I want to show here is follows. 8,141 follows from one video. My other video, it had maybe, or yeah, right there, 158,000, but I gained 2,000 followers from 158,000. So the reason I show this distinguishment is just because you get a ton of views doesn't always correlate to a ton of followers. You can be highly, highly targeted and highly, highly efficient with 158,000 views, getting one fourth the followers, right? So don't be discouraged thinking that I need to hit 1 million plays every single video, right? And do all these crazy stunts and all these crazy things. It's not about that. It's about creating quality content first and generating the result off of that.
Real quick, my story for those of you guys who don't know me. My name is Jason. Hi. I'm from a very, very, very small town. And when I say small, it's a lot smaller than you're thinking. And I bring that up to say it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what market you were born in, what your location is like. You can still find ways to get these types of results if you're willing to work for it. These videos that I shot, I reached out to the agent, cold DM. She had no idea who I was. I said, hey, I want to come shoot some projects for you. Did it completely for free. The video that we did for free got her 800,000 views. She's like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. And we came back and we've turned it into a very lucrative partnership ever since. But that's not in my local market. It's not somewhere, it's not like I just lucked into this, right? Like I actually seek these opportunities out, and it's something that you guys can do as well. And I just want to reiterate that you don't have to be in Palm Beach. You don't have to be in Los Angeles. You don't have to be in New York. You can make these things happen and you can get these kind of results anywhere in the US. When I say I'm from a small town, I have more followers than there is population in my hometown. So don't think that you need to be in some crazy place. I've got a screenshot here too, just to show kind of the progress.
On December 17th, I was talking with my boy Jerry. Shout out Jerry. I know he's in here. You're a stud. Jerry from Ascension Co. in Colorado. He kills it. He's so good. I had just released my very first video and I had gotten 500 followers, and I had a conversation with him the previous day saying, man, I really want to hit 10K by February. Like if I could hit 10K by February, that would be game changing for me. And he said, bro, you'll hit 10K easy. Wait and see, the best is yet to come. Little did either of us know that would have happened in the next few days. So
That's my story. I share that to hopefully encourage you guys to put yourself out there, reach out, send those cold DMs, and do what you can to make these opportunities happen. You can seek them out, and you'll find them.
as we go into this, there's a very, very, very crucial concept that I need to explain, and that there's a huge difference between a viral video and a listing video. And there's so much friction as us creators. We're constantly trying to make our listing videos go viral and make our viral videos be listing videos, and they're not the same thing, and they don't accomplish the same goal. So if you break it down, the concept of a viral video is to be unusual, is to be abnormal, surprising, unexpected, shareable, relatable. The concept of a listing video is to evoke emotional connection. You're trying to draw the potential buyer into the home. You want to showcase the elements of the home. You want to showcase why somebody might be interested in that. And you do that through various methods, right? Viral videos are not meant to show every room in the house. They're not meant to show you all the finishes. They're not meant to show all the things that people think they need to show. And if you're part of the real estate videography group, every other video is posted. Oh, I hate the speed ramps. Why does everybody use so many speed ramps? Why are they doing this? I can't see the house. It's too fast. Blah, blah, blah. They're videos serving two different purposes. And the sooner that you as a creator understand that these videos operate in a different modality, the better results you'll get, not only for yourself, but for your clients. So the videos, they're both great videos. They both serve a purpose. They both have very useful goals, but they're not the same thing.
So the goal of a viral video or a video that gets a lot of views is to drive engagement, right? Follow, shares, comments, all that kind of thing. Build brand authority. Let people know who you are, the type of work you do, what you're about. It's not trying to sell a house. If you've ever done any like Facebook ads or researched marketing at all, there's top of funnel awareness, there's middle funnel consideration, and then there's bottom funnel action taking, right? The mistake I see a lot of people make, and myself included in the past, is we try and squish that whole funnel into one video. You make the buyer aware to the house, you try and convince them to buy the house, and then you try and drive the action all in one video. That doesn't happen in 30 seconds. And and a video like that will not go viral, right? So it's very, very important to understand the distinguishment there before we even get started, before we start shooting, before we start planning, before we start scripting. So both videos, extremely valuable. Agents need both. You need both. But there's a very, very clear distinction. So I hope that makes sense.
Now we will break down the anatomy of what makes a video great. Real quickly, in my opinion, audio is 80% of the value of a video, whereas visuals are only 20%. It might surprise some of you, but there's research that's been done that shows that audio quality affects the memorability of a video and can enhance recall and recognition, making the content much, much more impactful. If you think about listing videos that you've seen in the past or viral videos that you've seen in the past, I guarantee you remember the song that was played in it. And often, if you won't listen to a song beforehand, there's no chance you're gonna stay through the video to watch it to the end, right? If the song's boring, if you're listening to elevator music and it's a $22 million house, you're probably clicking off, even if the house is absolutely stunning, right? So audio is an extremely, extremely important aspect of this. And it's why I'm going to dive very, very deep into audio in our breakdown session. And I'm going to show you some stuff that I'm sure most of you have never seen before when it comes to audio. And I hope that you guys take it to heart, and I hope that it's valuable for you. Beyond that, the actual structure of the video, you all know the hook, you all know the value, and you all know the payoff. but there's certain elements to these hooks, the value and the payoff that need to be reiterated and need to be ingrained into your mind. Number one, the hook, yes, it happens in the first 3 to 5 seconds, but during or after the hook, you need to make a promise, whether that's visually, whether that's through the script, whether that's through any sort of curiosity trigger. You need to make a promise of what the viewer is going to gain from that video. Are they going to learn how to earn 10,000 followers in 7 days? Are they going to learn how are they going to make world-class videos, you know? So you need to make a promise in the first 3 to 5 seconds. And then when you transition into the value of the video, you want to deliver on that promise, whether you're educating, entertaining, telling a story. I hope that as I'm explaining these, you guys are thinking of videos that you've bookmarked and saved, and you can kind of go back and look at those and say, oh yeah, actually, I see the promise that they made. I see where they're educating me or entertaining me. But there's a bonus to the value, and this is the thing that I contribute most of my success in my viral videos, and that is sparking controversy. Subconsciously, when you watch a video, you're forming an opinion in your mind of how you feel about it. I'll break that down I'll go into detail in my actual video to show you where I sparked the controversy. But it's important to have a position that people can stand on the left or right on, because that drives engagement. Because this person is commenting this person's commenting this, and that drives the algorithm forward. So by doing this, you build momentum. After you are nearing the end of your video, say you're 25 seconds in, the payoff is the second most important part of the video, where you are satisfying the viewer's curiosity. You're letting them know, or you're showing them what they came for in the first place. And a real good payoff will always encourage a CTA. A CTA doesn't have to be, call me to see this house. It can be a comment, it can be a like, it can be a share. Shares are the most important for the Instagram algorithm specifically. But your payoff should be good enough that you're encouraging your viewer to do something about it. Like, add it to your dream board, send it to your wife and say, I love this kitchen. I'm sure all of us have seen these videos that we share, and we say, oh man, I love the floor plan. I love the marble. I don't like this. I don't like that. Right? That's a CTA. That's a strong payoff for the video.
Real quick, while we're talking about the structure of a video and audio, I get this question. I've probably seen it 200 times by now. How do you use a certain song in your video? I will disclaim, I'm not a lawyer and this is not legal advice, but Instagram does allow you to use any song that you want on their platform. So for videos that you're creating for yourself and videos that you are intentionally trying to go viral with, you can absolutely use any song that you want. And if you're posting videos to the MLS or that type of thing, then it's probably best to go with music that you pay for. So just to be clear on that, don't be shy of jumping on Spotify or YouTube and grabbing a song that you want to use if you're posting it to your Instagram.
Lastly, I know that was a long-winded explanation and this sounds counterintuitive, but don't overcomplicate it.
You don't need to spend hours and hours crafting a crazy hook. You don't need to spend all this time thinking that you need to get a perfect shot of this and a perfect shot of that to make the video go viral. If the core concept is good, it will perform well, and everything else just adds to that. So don't get too overcomplicated. And a perfect example of that is my client's video. It just hit 4.2 million views today, I think. We shot it in one take. We shot it in 2.5 minutes in one take. But the reason it did so well is because we had planned that beforehand and we knew what we were doing. So it does not have to be super complex. It doesn't have to be super complicated. And by the way, it's the easiest video I've edited all year because it was one take. So
to reiterate by using an example of my Bugatti video, there's something you'll notice here with these comments. When I say spark controversy, this comment is exactly what I'm talking about. I love cars and nice houses, but I don't know about this one. Tracking dirt into the living room and filling the house with carbon monoxide when you move your car in and out. It got nearly 1,000 likes. That's 1,000 people who watched the video and may have watched it twice just to read that comment. And it got 36 replies compared to 8 likes, 3 likes, 92 likes, right? But another thing that I did in this video is I hid an Easter egg. I put my logo on the license plate. 858 likes, 663 likes. It's creating controversy, but it's also adding more incentive to watch the video again in case you missed something. And in my opinion, this video, the reason it went viral is because it had all of everything that I've mentioned. It had a very captivating hook. When have you ever seen a Bugatti drive through the front door in the first 3 seconds?
Never.
When have you seen a Bugatti parked in a living room in the first 5 seconds? And also, who would park a Bugatti in their living room, right? This guy certainly wouldn't. He's not going to track dirt in his living room. But some people do, apparently, right? Throughout the course of this video, when we break it down, I'll show you little visual nuggets that I was doing. I was very intentional about teasing the other cars in the video too, so that as they're watching, they're like, hold on, I see that. If you're a car person, I see that Koenigsegg in the back. What's that all about? I saved that for the last, and that was my payoff, was to show you everything that was in the house. And that's why the video has 5.2 million views and still counting. Now, for the simple video that I did for my client, same thing. We sparked controversy by saying at the start of the hook, she says, I can't believe I'm doing this, and you won't either, because she's got roller skates on in a 17,000 square foot mansion. Now, I have to give her a lot of credit for this, because she told me, when she told me about this property, she says, Jason, this house is so massive. It's 17,000 square feet, but it's all one level and it's all marble floors. It's so big you could skate in it. And I said, well, hold on. Let's bring your skates then. She brought her skates. This was the last thing we did throughout the night. We had filmed all the other content that we were working on, and we ran through the house in one take. We shot the whole thing, and 4.2 million views later, she also, at the time of posting this, she had 54,000 followers. She's up to 78,000 right now. So that's a bit of my results, kind of the results that we've had over the last few weeks. But I want to make a point here.
Your free work is oftentimes your very best work. And what I mean by that is, yes, I got paid to come film these videos for these clients, but all the videos that you've seen of mine, I did not get paid for. Why? Because it was the director's cut, right? It's my best work. It's my hands are not tied. I'm not dealing with song restrictions or script restrictions or anything. It's what I want to create based off the footage that I filmed, and I'm using that as my portfolio piece, because it's so important that you put work that you want to be hired for. You don't want to show your work that you've being paid for. You know, say you're just starting out, you're charging $400 for a video, and that's the only thing on your Instagram. All people are going to hire you for is $400 videos. But me, I said, I don't want to show that type of work, because that's not the work that I want to do in the future. I want to do crazy stuff. I want to push the envelope. I want to elevate my skill set, and I don't want to do it with any limitations. And so that's the work that I'm going to put out. And it's been a problem for me all year, because I've gone basically a year without posting anything, because I think that I have to share the work that I'm being paid for, instead of just being like, suck it up. Let's make something free and post it. My last 4 videos, all 4 of them performed the very best of all my videos. All 4 of them were free. Yes, I got paid for the shoot. Yes, I accomplished the task that I was hired to do, but I didn't gain 13,000 followers from those videos. I gained 13,000 followers from the videos that I wanted to make when I'm locked into my office and working on work that I love. So don't shy away from creating free work. It'll be your best.
When you're building your portfolio, this is what I focused on. I focused on quality first, always, regardless of the video itself. I'm always focusing on quality. Don't post just to post. Don't say, oh, everybody says to grow Instagram, I need to be consistent. I need to post every day. I need to do this. Don't do that. Focus on quality and attract the people that you want to attract. That plays into my next point, which is your target. Understand, who are you trying to target with your videos? Are you trying to bring in real estate agents? Are you trying to bring in builders? Are you trying to bring in other videographers? For me, I was trying to bring in all 3. And there are a couple hundred of you here tonight, which is proof that that worked. So I want to emphasize that it's very important to be super intentional with who you're targeting, why you're creating these videos, what purpose does it serve? Is it a listing video, or is it a video that's going to wow somebody and say, oh, I've never seen that before, or I've never heard that before, right? Then this is the thing that I'm most proud of for me. I experiment always. I have never, ever made a video in my life that I can think of, but specifically in the last year, I've never made a video that was exactly the same as the last. And what I mean by that is I never made a video where all the sound effects were the same, all the transitions were the same, everything was the same. I always try at least one thing that I've never tried before. And if you go back and look through my videos, you'll see some transitions, some day to night stuff that I've never seen before. I certainly have never done it before, but I've also never seen it before. So I'm experimenting, reiterating. If it hits, it hits. A perfect example of that is I've never seen somebody overlay Kobe Bryant on a basketball court. I had a perfect opportunity. It was a Kobe Bryant basketball court. So let's go crazy. No, I don't have the skill set to do it, but how did I do it? I want to learn how to overlay this video, YouTube tutorials. I pull up whatever I can. I could have done it a lot better looking back on it now, but the point is experiment, experiment, reiterate, and use that momentum to keep carrying you forward. We'll move into what is the most important thing, which is the shooting.
My philosophy towards shooting is that there's a fundamental way to shoot, and the value of using fundamental shots. I have 4 core shots that I do that are all right here. The value to this is if you shoot multiple properties, if you're filling up your schedule, you just know, no matter what the house looks like, how big it is, what the selling point of the house is, that you're going to be getting these 4 core shots every single property. That will never change. It really helps you have a much more efficient workflow. It helps you improve your speed on site. And I'm going to go break down each one of these shots and show you an example of what they look like and how I frame them and everything. And then you'll understand, once we do finally open up the timeline, you'll understand why I shot the shot the way that I did, how it works in editing, how it transitions over. So I want you to think about these fundamental shots like Legos. Basically, you have your wide shots and your detail shots that are infinitely stackable in your timeline because they follow the same movement and the same pattern. And so your viewers' eyes are not being shaken all over the screen with different movement and different focal ranges and everything like that.
So my wide shots are usually between 12 and 16 millimeters. 99% of the time, it's with a 12 millimeter Laowa. My detail shots are usually with a 24 to 70 Sigma lens. I'll show all my gear later on. It's less important. I just want you to understand the concept. Then I have what is called an orbit shot that I do on every house, which I consider these shots the glue shots. They're the shots that hold the video together and keep the engagement high, but they help you transition from wide shots to detail shots. So if you're envisioning that you have a wide push shot coming through a living room, and then you start showing some detail shots of the fireplace, the hearth, the kitchen, maybe. Then if you orbit from, say, the fireplace, you can orbit, match the same movement into the kitchen and transition those shots together. And I'll show you an example of that when we get in the timeline. But orbit shots are what I consider the glue. Then I have my creative shots. These are the shots where after I've done all my wides, after I've done all my orbits, and after I've done my details, then I start looking at the house and I say, okay, what's the most unique feature about this house? What is something that somebody who's never seen this house before would be surprised to see, would want to see? And that's when you start getting really creative with showing all the different finishes, maybe something about the yard, maybe something about the view. This is where you go crazy. But because you have all your bases covered with your wides, your details, and your orbits, then you can spend some time doing your creative shots and you don't end up wasting, 3-4 hours on site being like, oh, what do I shoot? What do I shoot? So the gear that I use, I'm a firm believer. It's your camera, your choice. Canon, whatever you want to shoot is fine. I shoot on the Sony a7S III. The reason why is because it's got a dual native ISO of 12,800, which means I can expose extremely low light situations without any noise. Last week, I filmed a property that was really, really dark brown. And even at f2.8, 640 ISO, you could not see anything. So it's very important that you have a camera that whatever camera you choose can shoot low light, because you will run into situations where you just don't have the adequate lighting to show off the space. A bonus tip about that too is if you do shoot at 12,800 ISO, it improves your excuse me, it improves your dynamic range so that you can then it raises your exposure, sorry, so that you can then raise your aperture to a higher f-stop, which will improve your dynamic range. It will help you show what's outside the windows a bit better, what's inside the house a bit better. Claudio's touched on this quite a bit in his previous lives. But there's a few non-negotiables for me. Number one is I never shoot anything that is not 4K 60 frames per second. If you're not shooting 4K, it's okay, but if you want to future-proof your content, future-proof your footage, shoot 4K. There's no reason not to. Hard drives are super, super cheap. Another non-negotiable, you absolutely have to balance your gimbal. Make sure that you take the time to properly balance it every single time, or you will regret it, because when you get back, you're going to notice all sorts of little micro jitters. I even still notice it sometimes where clips that I thought were perfect are just unusable even after stabilizing. So take the time, take the 5 minutes before the shoot, balance your gimbal properly. You will thank yourself later. I only use 2 lenses. I use a 12 millimeter Laowa and a 24 to 70 Sigma f2.8. You can use any sort of detail lens that you want. You can use a 50 millimeter prime. You can use an 85 millimeter prime. This is just what I use. And it works well for me. So I'm going to go into a little bit of framing and composition of my shots. So I pulled all of these frame grabs from my videos that performed well. And I'm going to show you on the left-hand side, you see I have 2 wide straight pushes. And what I'm doing in those shots is I'm just moving directly straight in a straight line, slowly keeping the gimbal steady. On my wide orbits, I'm picking a center focus point and I'm orbiting all the way around, making sure that when I look at my camera, that center focus point stays in the center of the frame. Sometimes I have to do this 5, 6, 7, 8 times. If I mess up the rotation, which happens a lot, or if I trip, it happens a lot. I do this over and over and over until I get that orbit as smooth as possible. And you'll see it in my videos. You'll see how I transition those orbiting glue shots into something that looks good in the edit. Then detail reveal shots there's something that I do in every single project that I do because they're really, really simple to do. It's a slider shot basically where you hold your gimbal straight at 35 millimeters, 50 millimeters, 70 millimeters, whatever. And you literally just slide left to right. I use my whole body to do it to get as much motion as possible, but it's a very steady shot. And I line everything up using the rule of thirds, using my center frame. And what you can do with these shots, because they're so mild in movement, is then you can then go add in subtle zoom effects, subtle rotation effects in the editing. And that will help add some more motion, more depth to the shot. But at least you have a really, really solid, stable and staple shot that you can use forever and ever and ever. And if an architect ever hires you, this is the #1 shot that they want, is a slider shot that is moving left to right, showcasing the space and showcasing how it looks. So this, now that you understand each of the shots, sorry, I had the labels wrong on the last slide. I just want to pull up the rule of thirds grid and the diagonal lines just so you can see how I frame these shots before I even edit them, right? As you can see from the top left, I have the dead center of the house, dead center of the frame, and I'm keeping my center point right at the level of where the pool meets the glass doors. And following that movement, another tip for sure, turn on your diagonal lines and your rule of thirds on whatever camera you have. Make sure that you have these lines that give you indication of what is in the center of the frame. It's very, very imperative to have that. But you'll notice they follow leading lines on all my shots. On this one, I don't have a center line right here, but on this wide push shot that I did a day to night reveal, or I guess day to twilight reveal, the edge of the house was dead center of my frame, and that lined up perfectly for my transition. You'll see that in the edit. For this wide orbit shot, I kept the painting in the frame. You'll notice I didn't aim at the center of the painting. That's because I didn't want to show too much of the ceiling, and I wanted to follow the flow of the house with these leading lines. You see these leading lines line up with the couch. They line up with the ceiling, right? And I did my orbit that way. You'll see that in my video. Same with my paradise. First off, the text is in the top third, but the house stays pretty much dead center in the middle third. And if you were to draw a line straight up and down from the pitch of the roof all the way down to the base, there's a dead straight line right in the center. Slider shots, same thing. Keep my verticals as straight as I possibly can. I don't want any distortion on these slider details. This one was shot at 35 millimeters. This one was shot at 35 millimeters. Both of these were shot at 70 millimeters. but it's the same movement. I'm lining up perfectly dead straight verticals with the walls.